Welcome back to the Jimmy Show. We have more Call of Duty leaks to go over here, particularly concerning everybody's favorite game mode, Warzone, which I'm sure is doing great. Oh, what's that? It's the lowest player counts we've had since the COD HQ app has been a thing on Steam. Oh. Okay, so things are going great. So Activision's plan, since things are going so well, is to not have a new big map to play on. You play on Urzikstan for the past 5 years or so. But instead, it's Verdansk, it's Warzone OG chasing the Fortnite OG trend to try to get some money. And with nostalgia is the main vehicle that Activision is driving to success. You know, nostalgia has served them so well so far with the lowest player count recorded since COD HQ was a thing, but it sounds like a great plan. However, it is not canned for Outbreak mode, of all things, is coming back from Black Ops Cold War next year in the next premium release, which I'm suppose you're questioning, what's it going to be this time? Another Modern Warfare game, another Black Ops game. Well, flip a coin and you'll get your answer. It's another Black Ops game because Infinity Ward is coming out with their next Modern Warfare game in 2026. Therefore, that leaves this year up to Treyarch to pump out another Black Ops game. And this time it's going to be in the near future, much like Black Ops 2 in the year 2025. Much like it is now, but there's none of the cool stuff that was in Black Ops 2. So, of course, right? Anyway, it's canned for Warzone, but not Outbreak, which, that took sections of the canceled Ural Mountains map from Cold War. That was supposed to be like their next big Battle Royale map, but it all had to be segmented and split apart for Outbreak mode and for Fireteam mode. It seems as though Outbreak mode is returning with an emphasis on actually combining all of the areas of the map into one, much like Modern Warfare Zombies, but I hope there's significant improvements on that formula of gameplay because Modern Warfare Zombies was quite repetitive and it served as really just a place to level up your guns, and the story mode was just not very interesting. The quest design was bad. It was definitely something that I slowly became disappointed with over time. The same suggestions that I had for an improvement for DMZ mode apply here as well. If there's a solo mode, let me pause the game, let me start the match solo. If there's, an assimilation mechanic and you can get up to 6 squad mates, just let me spawn into the map with 6 squad mates and save me the headache. I don't know. The assimilation mechanic was neat, but sometimes you just want to get all your friends together and play immediately. So Warzone Mobile, on the other hand, we have some news from that disaster. It seems to be getting Al Mazrah soon instead of Verdansk. So as Verdansk leaves Warzone Mobile and goes to console and PC with the Warzone 2020 update or whatever they're going to brand it as, Al Mazrah from the failed Warzone 2.0 will be coming to Warzone Mobile, which I can't think of a better place to fit it on because Warzone Mobile is a disaster. So that just works out for them perfectly. What else is going on? The developer of the MMR system had a sit-down interview with Tom Henderson of Insider Gaming. Question was on everybody's mind. How does this matchmaking system, this engagement-optimized matchmaking algorithm that COD uses, how does it work? Why is it in the game? It's frustrating to deal with. It has all these problems. We need answers. So finally, the developer of the original MMR system in Call of Duty, which made its debut in China's Call of Duty Online in 2015, and then it came later to the main series in 2016 with Infinite Warfare. It's a system that's been there ever since, with the matchmaker itself becoming more sophisticated over the years. Olsen's, that's the developer, rating algorithm remaining essentially unchanged. So he was in charge of measuring skill in a match, and then the rest of the developers at what I assume is Demonware, fitting name, by the way, for such a hellish matchmaking system. So which matches to rig or not rig, essentially. He goes on to say that around half of players will be driven to stop playing without the current SBMM system because, quote, sometimes you stomp, sometimes you get stomped narrative only applies to around 40% of players by skill, with 10% of the very top players doing 90% of the pub stomping. And Olsen used XDefiant as an example of churn-based matchmaking, and then explained that although XDefiant had team balancing, quote, people don't like being the weak link repeatedly, and high skill players don't like carrying a team of potatoes all the time, end quote. The thing about that is team balancing has kind of always been a thing since COD 4, and that was Activision's convenient excuse to be like, see guys, there was skill-based matchmaking all along, even though that's like not how that worked at all. It's clear with the amount of iteration over the years, it's become significantly more sophisticated, and he may have been in charge of developing this MMR rating system, but this idea that half of players would just stop playing. Have you seen the Steam charts lately? Around half of players have already stopped playing. It's with the current very engagement-optimized matchmaking system in place. This was not meant to succeed in the long term, guys. It's just... All right, the interview continues. When asked for a solution, he said, be more transparent, essentially. Have the game show your skill, have something to grind for in public matches other than like camos and weapon levels, like have a demonstrable skill rating, which I'm not opposed to. You know, it's like if the game's going to be sweaty anyway, I might as well get a rank or something to show for it. But at the same time, it doesn't really make sense with the philosophy that you can't trash talk in Call of Duty anymore, and your voice is monitored by AI, and the prime shit talking opportunity of seeing a bronze player on either your team or the enemy team, quite frankly. The toxicity potential is absolutely high, which is a good thing, by the way, for Call of Duty. But the systems in place which monitor voice chat are counterproductive to it. So it wouldn't really work. I mean, that would be a neat idea, but it wouldn't really work, unfortunately. But he does bring up having XP multipliers for doing well in matches where the algorithm expected you not to do well, which in that case, it's kind of like the bad players would be like, why am I not getting extra XP? What the... And there would just be a lot of drama about that. So that's kind of what they wanted to avoid in the current system. So it's the same XP for everybody, allegedly. If you go off meta, your MMR will adapt after a few bad games and matches will get easier. The exceptions are when you're playing low population modes that attract high skill players or during open betas. Perhaps you shouldn't expect a game mode like Domination that attracts higher skill players. Hold on a minute. I don't think that's necessarily true, because there are tons of people who play Domination specifically to get kills and not contribute to the objective, because they position themselves in such a way that they would have a sight line of the objective but not capture it. So that doesn't and those players are very low skilled because they can't go to just TDM and do well. So they have to go to an objective mode and manipulate the positioning to their advantage to get kills, but not necessarily to contribute to objectives. So I don't really see his argument there, pointing out that COD's SBMM gets mistaken for engagement optimized matchmaking, but it's really just because the MMR system is highly responsive and volatile. No. Any system that's built on manipulating things to drive engagement is engagement optimized matchmaking. It's kind of in the definition. The word engagement is in there, and he mentioned engagement anyway, so it's like he kind of contradicted himself there once again. But yeah, this guy clearly works for Demonware. The work of the demon is here, and there's a reason why public games in COD are just miserable, because the developers are literal Demonware. So that just checks out to me personally. Anyway, moving on, we're changing gears to Fortnite Festival. Yes, folks, Fortnite Festival. We're going to talk about how it's been a whole year since Pro Guitar and Pro Bass were introduced into the game. That's where you can actually play with the guitar controller. I gotta say, we gotta step it up in terms of the feature set, because that was the last really big update for ways to play the game. Because you have battle mode, which is like Guitar Hero 3's battle mode, but jank. So nobody's really pumped about it. I mean, they had to introduce bots in the matchmaking of love that mode. Like, it kind of tells you everything. You know, it's been a year and there's no pro drums. There's no pitched vocals like in Rock Band. There's no tour mode where you like go from venue to venue and like hire managers and stuff. There's no like real features other than quick play. I don't know. After a whole year, you've seen Lego Fortnite get all of these cool things, and Rocket Racing, well, that didn't do well off the rip, so it got kind of abandoned. Lego Fortnite, they got multiple modes. You got Odyssey and the roleplay sim thing. So there's no excuse for Harmonix not to include some kind of tour mode, some kind of practice mode, like a practice mode, for crying out loud. I think that's pretty reasonable to expect after all this time. And they're finally adding, you know, they added local multiplayer, which is a good step, but there needs to be significant, and it's a console exclusive. So PC players, they're not even getting that. So in order for Fortnite Festival not to go the way of the dodo, aka Rocket Racing, you need to have more features, right? So, all right. That's why, as a big Rock Band Guitar Hero nerd, that is kind of a sticking point for me, is these games. But thank you for swinging by. Hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and have a great day.